My budget for next month is $200. I spent it last night doom scrolling. Oh my god. I woke up this morning. I thought it was a literal nightmare. I was like, wow, did I actually spend money on 4 pairs of parachute pants? Yeah, I did. I thought it was a fever dream. Like last night, I was sleeping so good. And I woke up randomly and I was like, what to do, online shop. Great, I did. And apparently I did well. But I got some good things. I got some new pants, I got some new shirts, and I've been re-wearing the same clothes since I was like a junior in high school. So I'm like, this was needed. However, not when I like quit my job for June and like don't really have like everything lined up and teaching already pays you nothing. So really, this probably put me into debt. Theoretically, of course, I'm really hoping it didn't, but there is a high possibility. And in that case, I'll have a panic attack when that credit card bill comes. But I'm just gonna pay it off like, oh, did I overdraft or did I not?
With my credit card, I max that out to 4,000.
What do you mean you max it out? Max it out or maxed it out?
So my max, I got confused with the credit debt and the credit limit. So my parents got me a credit card, and I ended up getting a max credit limit of $8,000. So I could spend up to $8,000. That's what that means, right? So I would use it, and I would take my boyfriend. We would just started dating. We would go out.
It's 12,500
on it now.
Yeah.
Well, when I looked at it last, yeah.
Continue.
Me and my boyfriend, me and my friends, we would go out, and I'm like, oh, I'll pay for everybody. I got it. I'll spend the money. Don't worry about it. It's just a credit card. So I would pay and pay and pay and pay, and then I called my mom one day, and I wanted her to be proud of me. So it's just like, hey, I've got $4,000 credit on my credit card, and she's like, credit limit or credit debt? I was like, what's debt? And she's like, oh, that's bad. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So it's $4,000 debt then? She's like, that's bad. Why did you do that? I'm like, I thought that was good. And she's like, no, your credit limit at the time it was 8,000. So I was like, okay, well the credit limit's 8,000. That's good, right? And she's like, yes, but you were $4,000 in debt.
Hey, you're probably doom scrolling right now, so I'll try to be quick. So you've probably heard of what doom scrolling is, but have you ever heard of what doom spending is? It's when we make impulse purchases whenever we're feeling stressed or experiencing anxiety. This impulse buying can give us a good feeling, but it doesn't last long. It's usually very temporary. So the problem with doom spending? Well, it drains your savings, adds debt, and actually increases your stress over the long run. So instead of stressing over your next test and buying something on TikTok Shop, try healthier ways to de-stress. Some examples are like going for a walk, calling a friend, or journaling. Remember, doom spending is a quick fix that leaves you feeling worse. Don't let it take control. Choose your long-term peace over a quick purchase. Remember to like and follow.
I love it. I mean, I'm so passionate about it, and it's what I do
Your passion
all the time.
I don't know what it is about today, but I'm in a spending mood. I just want to spend all my money. I want to buy a new car. I can't afford a house, but I want to buy one today. Let's go shopping. It's all on me. You know what I mean? I don't know why I want to spend today, but I do.
Everybody keeps talking about how millennials and Gen Z are just like doom spending money, about how basically we're like, everything's pointless at this point. Our money's all fake. The system's screwed. So we're just going to treat ourselves. We're going to buy the things that we want. And we're just kind of, have a little bit of fun. And that's why we haven't fallen into a recession. And I just find it hilarious how this is being attributed to Gen Z and millennials when I'm pretty sure this started with the boomers. Our government's like $30 trillion in debt. And who are all the people in charge of the government? All people from the boomer and the silent generation. And people keep wanting to paint that us millennials and Gen Z are being irresponsible with our money. Well, we're just taken out of the page of the people who raised us. We saw they got to have a bunch of fun with a bunch of money that wasn't theirs, so why don't we do the same thing? Because you know what, at this point, everything's screwed. Listen, this is absolutely not a solution at all. This isn't going to fix the problem. But we're just so fed up with how this has just been shoved to us. Basically, hey, the previous generations bought all this stuff and here's the bill. We're kind of doing the same thing, but we don't get to pass the bill off because it's still going to go as our debt, not someone else's debt.
I am such a huge consumer, like one of the biggest. So let me show you some dumb shit that I spent my money on. We're gonna start in the bathroom. I have the Snow toothbrush. It charges and then it has like a blue light when you brush your teeth. And then I have the teeth whitening kit. I wouldn't say these are that dumb because they work really well. And I would say this works really well too, not sponsored. But I think that's it for the, oh no, wait. So this may be dumb to some people, but you put like a face wash in it and a little bit of water and you pump it and it makes it all foamy. All right, now I'm at my makeup desk. So to start off, yes, I fell for the hype of the syringe lip plump TikTok shop lip gloss. I think this was one of my first TikTok shop purchases, so it didn't take much to get me. I have so much makeup shit that I don't use. I really need to just clean out my whole thing. Oh my god, these, so dumb. It's supposed to help you make a perfect wing. I don't even use it, like, ever. The neck thing that's supposed to, like, the funny thing is, I got these and I didn't use it, but I got this one and I swear it works. I'm like a walking ad. Like, I swear this isn't an ad. I just fall for all of them. No, 15 minutes a day. And I swear, a lot less double chin. Just 15 minutes. Oh my god, and then I have a stain on my shirt. This, oh my gosh, hold on. All right, so we're in my kitchen now. So then I got a stain on my shirt because I purposely put a stain on my shirt because I bought this, and I'm sure you guys have seen this on your For You page. So yeah, and it didn't really work that well.
Something that I feel like people don't talk about a lot with spending, shopping, hoarding, ADHD, doom rooms, doom piles, body dysmorphia, disordered eating is this pickle that I have gotten myself into. That sounded like a lot, but guess what? This is a lot. This is a lot. This is not only a lot, but this is too much. This is overwhelming, debilitating, and that's not all of it. I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, and I'm healing, I'm working through something. What is that, you may ask? It's not even a shopping issue. It's a self-love and self-acceptance issue. I struggled so hardcore postpartum because we had just gotten married the previous year and I was arguably the fittest that I had been, and then I got pregnant with through postpartum. And that was really difficult for me because I had no clothes that fit. I had really simplified my wardrobe and gotten to a really good point. And then postpartum, I wanted to look good, but I didn't have clothes that fit me. There's obviously nothing wrong with buying clothes that fit your current body, but I didn't have a plan to go along with it. And also, I had no idea how my body was going to continue to change and evolve. And it's not about weight. Let me just keep saying that. This isn't about weight, but I have gained and lost so much weight in the last 5 years that it's kind of hard to not justify what has happened. Of course, it's okay that I bought size 32 jeans. After I had my son, I wanted a pair of jeans to wear. You don't have to stay in sweats just because you're postpartum. I am saying that I'm 3 years postpartum right now. And I still have oversized clothing that I'm keeping, you know? It's not the problem. The problem is the fear that is in my head and lying to me on a loop, saying that I have to hold on to all of this just in case XYZ. That voice is in my head saying, oh yeah, those pants might fit now, but wait, they won't in the spring. So anyway, I don't know if you're like me, but this is what I'm doing. I am overwhelmed and want to simplify my life and simplify my closet. And it's just about damn time. So it's hard and I'm doing it. And I'm starting with this pile right here. So you can hold me accountable to that. I will post an update tomorrow.
I've put other people's bills on my credit card. Hi, I'm Sia, and I started the year off in $40,000 in debt. So many people asked me how. And there is so many answers to that, and I'll probably do a longer video on my YouTube channel. But basically, I realize I have a hard time saying no, and that is to myself and to others. I've built up really bad habits over the years of helping people when I didn't have the money to, leaning on my credit cards as my safety net so that I can make sure other people in my life are okay, and providing a convenient life to myself because I felt like I deserved it. I also made promises to myself where I would put something on my credit card and promise that I would pay it off within the month, and then I wouldn't because I already spent my cash. It almost felt like it was, invisible money. I used to pay off my credit card in full, how I was able to build up such large credit limits, but after a certain time, I wasn't doing that anymore. With the continued bad habits that I had, with spreading myself thin when I really didn't have it, it just wasn't helpful, and it really built up my credit card balances over time. And it happened over years. Like, I haven't used them really in the past few years, but when you're only paying the minimum balance on such a large balance, it doesn't really move. Once I really realized that it is my fault why I have so much credit card debt and that I need to get rid of it in order to find peace and get that money back in my pocket that I've been paying on it every month just to not see the balances go anywhere, I decided to take it seriously. I wanted to do a deep dive into my credit card statements to really share with you guys like how much I've spent on certain things. Or like the time where I want to Soul Cycle all the time, and I would buy the 30-pack classes and promise myself that I would pay for it by the end of the month, and I just didn't. Obviously, I mentioned the bills that I pay for other people, but to be honest, it's not that large of an amount on the credit cards. Usually, for the most part, I would give my cash, and then I would lean on the credit cards to live my life. Last time I probably used it was maybe for my hospital stay in January, and I didn't want to use my cash just yet because I didn't know how long I was going to be without a paycheck. Going through this journey of like building up so much debt, it made me realize how hard of a time I have saying no and setting boundaries. And now I'm fully working on it now. Even when people come to me now, I set those boundaries, like tell them what's real and that I just don't have it right now. I would love to be able to help the people in my life when they are experiencing lows, but I cannot pour from an empty cup.
I've paid off over $4,000 in credit card debt in the past 3 months. And my boyfriend looked at me and was like, well, what the fuck did you even buy? Like, to be having all this debt, like, what did you even buy? And I didn't even have a response. Like, I literally was sitting there racking my brain, like, what did I actually spend over $4,000? What did I actually spend over $4,000 on? And it's just like, the fact that nothing even jumps out to me tells me that I didn't need to be buying any of those things in the first place. So if you're in a position right now where you're buying shit just for like the moment of like, what is that called? Like the instant gratification. If you're just buying shit for the sake of buying shit, when you're in debt a couple months from now and you don't even remember what it is you bought because it was that insignificant and it didn't affect your life, you're really going to feel like an idiot. So I don't know who needs to hear this. Just stop with the buying, because a few months from now, you're not even going to remember why the fuck you're even in debt.
Girl, yes, I am in $63,000 worth of debt, and most of that being credit card debt, so let's just get into it. It's Casey. I'm a 30-year-old mom of 2 who also owns a mini farm, and my husband and I moved to our dream house in 2023, at the end of 2023, and since then, and even before then, I have racked up a ridiculous amount of credit card debt because I like to make myself feel better by buying things that I probably shouldn't, and I was living outside of my means, and I'm terrible with money. Well, I was terrible with money. I'll be the first to admit. So let's just lay all that out right now. I know that this is ridiculous. I know that I've put myself in a really shitty spot, but this is all my fault and I have to take full responsibility. So I am putting myself out there to do these challenges, to do these series, to try to make money off of social media because I know it's possible. I've seen it change people's lives. And I just want to see if it'll work for me, because I want to explore every possible avenue of trying to get out of this debt that I put myself in. I also want to mark that my husband is very good with money and none of this is really his fault. The credit card debt is solely mine. There are 2 loans on here that both of us had agreed to, which I'll get into in a couple minutes. If you're not interested in learning about all the mistakes that I've made when it comes to financial stability and financial decisions, then you can just scroll on. But if you're someone who's struggling with your finances, stay put, because you're not alone and a lot of us are struggling out here. So let's get into it. I'm about $63,000 in the hole, and a lot of that being credit cards. So I have 3 credit cards. I have a Chase card, I have a Care credit card, and I have an American Express, which I hate. The American Express card, I will put a side note in. We will be paying that off soon, thank God. My husband and I were able to get in a forbearance with our mortgage, which if you don't know that, it's where we have 6 months where we don't have to pay the mortgage and they tack it on our end of our mortgage loan, so we could save up 6 months worth of mortgage payments to pay off some debt. Pay that card off soon, thankfully, so that will take away from the debt that I'm currently in. So if I take that debt away from the rounded up number of $63,000, because it's $62,929.71 if you want to be exact, I would only be about $56,000 in debt, because I have about $6,400 on the Amex card. But anyway, I digress. So the Chase card I've had pretty much my entire teenage adult life. My dad opened that credit card for me when I was in high school to put gas on, just to start building my credit. Since then, obviously, I've used it for things that I didn't need. I have a Care credit card that I use for all of our animals. Emergencies go with that, which I have about $4,400 on there between all 5 of our animals. The next 3, I'm going to have to explain a little bit. So we do have a loan for a Generac. We did get a full house generator, because in this house, we've lived here since October of 2023, and we have lost power almost every time we get a storm. And sometimes it's more for 24 hours. It could be even upwards of 72. The longest we were out of power was about 3.5 to 4 days. So after the 3rd or 4th time that we lost power, we decided that we should look into a generator, because it's something that made sense, because we have 2 young kids and I have animals in here. But that's about a $15,000 loan. Now this next one I'm going to explain to you. Y'all are going to think I'm stupid, but you have to hear me out. I have about $16,400 worth of debt for windows in a house that I no longer live in. Previous house in Pennsylvania, when we moved in, it had been vacant for a year. The windows were probably older than I am, and they leaked and you could barely open them. So we decided to new windows through the entire house, and that was about an $18,000 feat. Obviously, we didn't have $18,000 to just pay somebody, so we got a loan. When we moved out of that house into this house, the money that we made from the sale of our previous house where the windows are, we used that money to pay off our cars. So my husband and I don't have a car payment, which I'm extremely grateful for, because we'd be out of this house at this point if we had a car payment. Between our 2 car payments, we probably paid about $1,200 to $1,300 a month between the 2 cars. So we decided to take the money we made from the sale of our old house to pay off our cars, so we would have more money to go towards this mortgage, because the mortgage of this house is very high, because we bought at a terrible time and our interest rate is 7%. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how much we pay in a mortgage, out of respect for my husband, because he doesn't really like talking about finances. So me even doing this is a little but most of this is my debt and my fault, and I'm not going to fault him for it. So the reason I didn't pay off the windows is because we paid off the cars, and the window payment monthly is only $240. So it made more sense to pay off the cars and have $1,300 extra a month than it did to pay off the windows and only have $240. Next loan is about $14,800, and that is just in consolidated debt from things that were years ago. So that's the consolidation loan from previous debt. So in total, I have about $62,929.71. And I would love to start paying that off. So again, like I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm terrible with money, but in the last couple months, I've really gotten better at that, because my credit cards are maxed out. So I don't have anything to lean on. If I don't have the money, I can't buy it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've gotten a lot better. I've been able to really think about things, like when I'm buying them, I really ask myself, will this make a difference in our day-to-day life? Or is this just something that I'm seeing online? Or is overconsumption just getting to me? And I've really been able to do a lot better with that. We do have a lot of animals. I do have 2 horses. All of you are probably like, why the fuck did you get all these animals then? I have a lot of mental illness, okay? I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, PTSD, those types of things. And the animals help me. So I've always wanted some of these things. We were able to figure it out and squeeze it in. Am I being squeezed to my absolute limit, paycheck to paycheck, sometimes more than paycheck to paycheck? Yes. But I will say the animals kind of pay for themselves. So like the chickens, we sell a lot of eggs. That pays for the feed for almost all of our animals. So the animals kind of even themselves out at that point. That's where I'm at. So this is day 9 of me posting every day, but it's the first day that I'm going to go. I did a deep dive into my financials and why I want to pay off all this debt. I would love to have some extra money just to be able to put my girls in some extra things. We do have a great support system. We do have family that's able to help, but you know, we want to do this on our own. So you can make money off of social media. I'm doing what everybody else is doing and I'm trying. Obviously, I can't start monetizing on this app until I hit 10,000 followers. So that's kind of my goal right now, is to hit 10,000 followers so we can start chipping away at this debt. So I'll keep you guys updated. I will still do farm videos every day. I will try to do farm videos every day, if not every other day, but I also will post some mom content too, kind of whatever I'm feeling. There's no real niche here, but yeah, I'm in a lot of debt and I know a lot of people are. So I just want to let y'all know you're not alone. And if you want to learn from my mistakes, hit that follow button because we learning here.
Hi guys, my name is Ileana and I am in 6 figures of debt, from credit cards to personal loan to student loans. And it's not a very pleasant time. I have a goal for this year to pay off my credit cards and my personal loans. So by the end of December, so I have a goal. I'm one of those people who needs a goal to keep me motivated. And I'm videotaping this because not only will this help me keep track, but it will also help me to keep motivated. Because sometimes even when I do have a goal, I don't have any motivation to keep going. So that is the reason why I am recording myself. Right now, I am exercising or walking because not only am I trying to pay off my debt, but also I have noticed that when I had dopamine, which you lots of time get when you're exercising or doing something, dopamine rushes in and you feel a lot happier. And I notice when I add more debt or I eat more, which as you can see, I eat a lot, I tend to fall into depression, or I need something to occupy my mind, or I'm just bored. And that's really bad because I shouldn't feel that way normally. So I'm trying to exercise to get that dopamine in me so I can feel happy. I don't have to use buying things as an excuse to give me that short-term happiness. And I hope you guys will join me if you are feeling any of those things. Heck, even if you're just feeling bored, just go out and take a walk, because honestly, it does help. Plus, doing anything at this point is better than doing nothing. So I hope you guys use this advice, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Americans are digging themselves into a deep financial hole, approaching $1 trillion in credit card debt. The nation's record high credit card debt now stands at nearly $988 billion. That's around $5,700 per person. Those between 40 and 49 years old have the most debt among all age brackets, with about $7,600 on their cards. High interest rates and inflation are adding to the problem.
I'm 31, I'm single, I live alone, and I have $29,445 in credit card debt. I've honestly never said that aloud before, and I'd be lying if I didn't think it was a little embarrassing and also really shameful. 2 credit cards, one with Capital One, one with Bank of America. Capital One has the lower balance, so my goal is to make an additional $200 payment a month to Capital One, and then snowball that with the Bank of America one. If all goes to plan and I continue making the additional $200 payments a month, I can have both credit cards paid off by December 2027. I know that's almost 3 years away, and who knows, maybe I will pick up some extra income or figure out a way to pay more towards my debt, but as of right now, $200 is what I can afford. I'm going to pay off this debt by 2027, no ifs, ands, or buts. Been carrying this debt around, and it's honestly been a huge toll, barely making the minimum payments, but enough is enough. I need to get this under control. It's honestly consuming my life. No one but to blame but me, but I'm ready to pay this off and be debt free. Well, with credit cards.
Well, okay, something,
Yes.
I'm going to cut you off. Something's not correlating for me, because if we decided, oh, I'm a big boy now, all this stuff, what are we doing if we have these, we haven't even got into the other debts yet, but you're losing $41 of interest on just this one. And guess what? You're still buying energy drinks like crazy, like multiple times a week. Also stopping almost every day at a fast food restaurant drive-thru and getting bottles of water. Why are we doing all this if we're grown up and we're taking care of debts? Not taking care of debts.
Fair. I took care of a lot of my other credit cards that I had. I had 4, I believe. Now I just had the one.
You consolidated as well.
Well, that was that one time, yes. And then when I got my new job, this job, I had to move to Vegas. Didn't have a lot of money saved up for that, because it happened when I thought it was going to be like a month after I quit. It was like 3 months after I quit, I got the job. And so when I had to move, I had to buy a bunch of equipment, stuff to rent, the place, and I used my credit card. The Discover.
Not having an emergency fund is an emergency.
Yes. It was very bad, which I didn't really learn about the whole emergency fund and a lot of this stuff until having this job and having more money and trying to learn and better myself through that. But so I re-upped basically my whole credit card, $5,000, maxed it out again after consolidating. Trust me, I hated it too. After I finally was like, cool, it's all gone. Now it's back. So I pretty much raised it back up. Now I had the loan plus an extra $5,000. So that was around 10. Of just debts like that, and the loan I still have. But the credit card I did pay off. I've got all my credit card debts out of the way, and then now it has a balance again.
Well, I'm glad you're making progress.
Yes.
I am. But this still shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You could have cut the crap that you've been spending and made a bigger dent in this.
Well,
$2,755 on your income could have been gone if you weren't just spending on BS. Month to month to month to month. Day to day to day to day.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
But you knew that, right?
Well, yeah, to an extent.
So if you knew it, why didn't you do it?
Yeah, because
you didn't have to have me say it. You've heard me tell other people.
Yes. The, I guess, biggest reason is getting everything under control. And after that, I wonder if I get my thoughts together for 1 second. When going back to the beginning, when I said reverse budget, I put all my money away for taxes right off the top. When I get paid, take the money away for taxes. Then it leaves me around $8,000. I take $2,000 to put it into my bill paying account, which is more than my bills are for the month. That way I always have a little extra in there just in case, who knows what happens. Or like with electricity, that can go up or down. I don't really know. It's not a set amount. And then also it'll accumulate over time, having a little extra cash in there. Then after that, I take away my rent money. So we had the $8,000, $2,000 gone, $6,000 left, $2,000 gone for rent now. It's all my bills, my rent, my housing, school. I have $4,000 left. When it comes to I put a lot of money in gas.
Which is fine for your job.
Yeah, I spend a lot in gas, and I spend a lot in hotels.
Got on you for those. I never called them out.
No. That's what I'm saying. But, so generally, I try to leave. I think that left me with $4,000. I try to leave $2,500 just for like work expenses, and I do count food as work expenses, not on the days when it's like the weekend or whatever.
Pack a sandwich, dude. Get a cooler. I don't care. You're trying to get out of terrible debt.
Yes. I used to
You're losing
make all my food.
$41 of interest on this relatively small debt.
I am just fairly lazy when it comes to making food.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're trying to justify it. No.
Yes.
It
Well,
doesn't
my
make
bad.
sense.
I'm not trying to justify. Okay. I was. My bad.
Do I use my credit cards even though I'm $48,000 still in debt, 109 overall? This person says that every card is over limit and I'm paying late fees. Well, there's a very specific reason for that. And it's because I'm paying off a 327% loan that is tying up $650 a month for me. And that loan, if I can get it paid by next Friday, will actually end up saving me about $250 a month in interest. You heard that correctly. 327% too. Not all of these cards are over limit like you're saying they are. My TJ Maxx credit card and my Discover are in hardship, and that is back pay, and I'm almost caught up. That's why you're seeing negative amounts. And TJ Maxx is closed. Capital One is not over the balance. It's actually under by $3. The last two that you're seeing, Citi and American Express, yes, they are over limit, but it's because I'm having to shift things around. Would I rather pay $40 in late fees, or would I rather pay 327% interest? The long and short of it is, I would rather take care of my 320% interest and then go get those cards caught up. I did use my credit cards, however, at the beginning of this journey because I had about a $500 deficit. I know that a lot of people are new here, and that's why I thought I'd just come on and clarify this a little. But next Friday, come hell or high water, that stupid loan is getting paid off.